China on Tuesday said that its economy grew by 4.5% in the first quarter of the year as consumption and retail sales rose in the world's second-largest economy.
Well, it shows China's recovery is better than anybody's expectations so far.
China's economy grew by a better-than-expected 4.5% on-year in the first quarter.
In the wake of the devastating COVID-19 pandemic that engulfed the world, an unexpected phoenix emerged from the ashes, spreading its vibrant wings over the vast landscapes of China. Like an ancient dragon stirring from its slumber, China's economy awakened with renewed vigor, captivating the attention of the global stage. As the clouds of uncertainty began to dissipate, China stood tall, displaying its resilience and unwavering spirit. The nation swiftly transformed the challenges it faced into catalysts for growth, unveiling a symphony of innovation and progress. With unparalleled determination, the Chinese people harnessed their indomitable spirit, embracing change and forging a new path forward. Rise in GDP. The Chinese economy grew 4.5% annually in the first quarter of 2023, which was above market expectations of 4% and an acceleration from the 2.9% expansion seen in the fourth quarter. As Beijing worked to stimulate the economy after the epidemic, the growth rate hit its highest point since the first quarter of 2022. March had the highest rate of increase in retail sales in almost 2 years, the highest rate of increase in industrial output in 5 months, and the lowest rate of unemployment in 7 months, according to a poll. China's trade surplus grew as a result of increased attempts to expand connections with established economies and test new avenues of cooperation with developing markets, according to data released earlier this month. A difficult global environment and limited local demand, the Statistics Office noted in a statement, imply the basis for the country's recovery is not yet solid. China's GDP goal for 2023 is rather low, at roughly 5%. The administration had hoped for a growth rate of roughly 5.5% last year, but the actual rate was only 3%. The fact that the official figures are higher than expected is a big surprise. Is China lying about their numbers? It's not like the CCP has a history of lying, does it? And who is behind this GDP? You may have heard of the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, which has dominated Chinese politics for decades and helped propel the country's economic growth. The Chinese leadership appears to be rediscovering its passion for economic expansion. The country's officials have been quick to pledge their unwavering dedication to a strong economic recovery as the devastating withdrawal from its zero COVID-19 policy has unfolded, resulting in tens of thousands of fatalities at least. But empty rhetoric won't get China very far. The Chinese Communist Party senior officials met last month at the Central Economic Work Conference to determine the agenda for economic policy the next year, and they decided that growth would be their main goal, as provincial governors scrambled to reaffirm the CCP's commitment to growth and calm nervous private investors and businesses. In the weeks that followed, the public was treated to a spectacle not seen in years. The clear political explanation for this change is the CCP's desire to win back public support following the public's growing discontent with the policy's failed escape from the severe zero-COVID limits. However, everything will be for nothing until the government backs up its pro-growth words with deeds. Actually, it's kind of happened already. The government has prioritized initiatives aimed at reviving the real estate market, including loosening lending standards for high-quality property developers and increasing housing demand. However, this is by no means enough. While the real estate market is a significant contributor to China's GDP, it cannot drive a full economic recovery, let alone a return to high growth on its own. The same may be said about the government's other short-term stimulus measures, such as monetary and fiscal growth, including investment in infrastructure. The zero-carbon regulations severely harmed the Chinese economy. There were 44 million micro and small-scale companies in the country before the pandemic. These firms provided around 98% of all registered businesses and 80% of non-state sector jobs. There were more than 90 million people working for themselves. However, that was before zero-COVID. Many micro and small businesses were forced to close during lockdowns without any direct financial help, which slowed growth. Has the Chinese economy taken a dip? Geopolitical tensions are making a number of problems for the Chinese economy worse, not the least of which is the ongoing tech war with the United States. The United States is more dedicated than ever before to limiting China's access to semiconductors, and it is exerting diplomatic pressure on the Netherlands in order to prevent the Dutch firm ASML from selling a larger range of its chip production machinery to China. This is being done in order to prevent China from becoming more dependent on American technology. it is not possible to rule out the possibility of the United States imposing further penalties on China, particularly now that Republicans control the House of Representatives in the United States. Meanwhile, ties between China and its second-largest economic partner, the European Union, have deteriorated due to China's tacit backing for Russia's conflict against Ukraine. Economic decoupling is being advocated by some Europeans, following the lead set by the United States. To lessen their reliance on China, many European businesses are already looking to diversify their manufacturing supply chains by, among other things, obtaining alternative inputs and transferring some output. Foreign corporations will reduce manufacturing jobs, and investment will be discouraged as long as geopolitical concerns continue. Therefore, mending fences with the West must be a top priority if the economy is to ever fully recover. The Sino-American relationship is, without a doubt, hopeless at the present time. Investors are worried about a possible Chinese invasion or naval blockade of the island. Although the political climate may improve if China reduces its backing for Russian President Vladimir Putin, China, however, has to roll out a serious reform plan. Chinese President Xi Jinping has led an ideological shift toward more traditional communism, as well as an effort to expand the Communist Party's control over the country's political and economic institutions. This strategy, which has included actions like increased social control, the establishment of CCP cells in private enterprises, and provocations aimed at China's most important trading partners, has severely harmed business confidence. If the CCP is serious about prosperity, it must reinstate the most fundamental political changes made by the previous leader, Deng Xiaoping, such as meritocracy, mandatory retirement, and term limits. To secure private businesses' safety and property, there is an immediate need to increase the independence of the judicial system. China needs to make changes to its economic policies by privatizing ineffective state-owned firms and easing regulations on private entrepreneurship. A sustainable economic recovery must also include measures to aid small enterprises. Despite all of the discussion about growth, the government of China has not disclosed any intentions regarding this topic, and there is absolutely no indication in the official discourse of the government that a substantial shift in course is being considered, comparable to Deng's definitive split with Maoist class struggle in 1979. Don't accept all the rumors, because it's possible that China's economy may continue to struggle for some time. How big is China's economy actually, and how strong is it in reality? Chinese GDP growth over the past 20 years may have been about a third slower than reported each year, leaving its economy significantly smaller than that of the United States, according to research by Professor Luis Martinez, who looked at the GDP growth of many countries and their nighttime light intercity from satellite imagery. While this study primarily focused on GDP growth, Dr. Yuri Skusfoot actually used data from the study to roughly calculate the actual GDP of China, and the results were kind of shocking. According to him, China's actual GDP is 60% smaller than what the CCP reports to the public. As the sun sets on the economic horizon, a startling revelation emerges from behind China's towering facade. The grandeur of their reported GDP, a staggering $16 trillion, now stands exposed as a mere illusion, skillfully crafted by the hands of the Chinese Communist Party. Cloaked in deceit, the true extent of their economic prowess reveals a different tale, one where the once mighty GDP crumbles to a mere fraction, a mere 40% of what was claimed. The world watches in disbelief as the smoke dissipates, uncovering a stark truth. In the shadows of deception, China's economic grandeur shrinks, revealing the true scale of their fabricated narrative. That's all for today, guys. If you like this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon for any new updates. See you in the next one.